So this is a kind of interesting exercise on what the actual limits are of this older technology. So what we've got going on here is Cyberpunk 2077 running on a i7 4790K with 32 gigs of RAM and a NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4070. So let's take a look. Actually, let's look at something else here too. Let's actually add, oops. Let's add memory or RAM usage. Do they have it listed as memory or RAM? I think it's under RAM. Let's see here. RAM usage. Show in on-screen display. Okay, let's see, what do we got? Okay. Okay, so taking a look at our settings. So I had to do some interesting things here. First of all, DLSS is available, but it didn't work. I mean, it worked, but not very well. AMD FX Super Resolution 3 on the quality setting, running with AMD FSR. This is okay because it shouldn't mess with anything because I already had it running. Okay, so you're gonna need AMD FSR to be able to hit anything close to reasonable frame rates. So we have the settings almost completely cranked. Other than a few things, stuff is almost maxed out. And then the other thing we're doing is we're running at 4K resolution. The resolution that I'm running at seemed to have no impact on, oops, that's not where I wanted to go. Resolution seemed to have no impact on the actual performance. Obviously, the really weak point here is the CPU. So I tried to do everything I could to get things running on the video card and as video card bound as I could. But if you take a look at the CPU and GPU usage, they're all pretty high. What are we showing? Yeah, almost all of, I mean, what are you looking at? 80, 90% utilization on the CPU. And this isn't bad. Like, this looks pretty good. Part of the reason I cranked all the settings was I found that once I put the AMD FSR 3 and the AMD FrameGen were activated, the settings didn't seem to make a lot of difference on frame rate. And I definitely had some issues between getting the frame rate and the visuals good enough. So there's a few reasons why you would do this. To a lot of people, this will seem really stupid, but there are some reasons for this. One of them is if you just, somebody upgrades to a 4090, they give you their old GPU. That's one possibility. You decide you're going to be upgrading systems soon, but you're not ready yet, but you get the GPU. And you still have a 4790K build on hand. You know, you're warrantying parts, and this is what you have on hand to run your GPU. There's a few reasons for this. I certainly wouldn't seek out a 4790K to do this with. Probably going to need to look at something newer, like a like a 7700K, which I have. I'll test that later. But this is just an exercise in, okay, I have a 4790K, I have an RTX 4070, what can this do for me? And that's really what we have going on here. Hey, I've never seen this tunnel before. What is this? I have no idea where this is. I haven't really played around with Cyberpunk that much in quite a while. Now, DLSS, it physically works, but we are not able to get the same frame rates with DLSS as we can with the FSR3 and the AMD frame gen. We're talking low 40s, low to mid 30s. I mean, it was bad enough that it looked at least as good, if not better, but without the frame rate to back it up, it was less playable, even though the actual visual quality may have been as good or better. And of course, I mean, this is perfectly playable. There's nothing wrong with this. Now, it probably, I'm going to bet, doesn't look any better than, like, say, a 3060, a 2070, something like that. Again, this is kind of an exercise of, I have a 4070, I have a 4790K, son of a bitch, what can we do? That's really what this is. I am totally going to get creamed here. So that was one of my goals with this 4th gen build. Oops, there I go. Totally creamed. Look at that, even messing up my bike. One of my goals with this build was to run some of these newer cards on an older generation high-end build to see what would happen. My guess is the results are going to be quite a bit better when I finally get my X99 setup up and running, which isn't much newer than this, but I'm going to guess has aged a little bit better. But anyway, I hope you guys find this interesting, and I'm going to do some more of this stuff. We're really just looking to see how far we can push it on this build. So anyway, thanks for watching the video.